Okay guys, so we're doing something a little different, and it's actually something that I have been wanting to do for a while. And this is kind of going to turn into, I think, something that I do a little bit more of down the road, because I think it's kind of important, especially for those of us that are in comparison. A lot of us don't just necessarily think that I'm going to buy a camera or device A. We are a lot of times pondering between, should I spend the extra money on this, or will this do for everything that I need? Hey, like a lot of us, myself included, I don't have an unlimited budget to go just spending the most amount of money on a product that may be better, maybe marginally better, or maybe for what I need isn't really better at all. Today is the first one in the series, and we're going to be doing a whole bunch of comparison videos coming up over the next little while in regards to camera A versus camera B. Today is one that I've been looking forward to doing, and we've had a lot of comments, especially on the one camera's video, about comparing it against other cameras. So today we're going to compare the Akaso V50 Pro SE, the special edition, up against the GoPro Hero 7 Black. That's a pretty big price difference between the two. And we're not going against the 8 because, again, we're trying to bring the price down a little closer. Are you okay with spending, between $120, $150 for the Akaso, or do you want to jump up and spend about $300-ish, depending if you can find it on sale or not, for a GoPro Hero 7 Black? Is the differences between the two and the abilities between the two enough to warrant the price increase? We're going to do that comparison right now. Okay, my friends, so here they are. Here's the two of them right here. This is the Akaso V50 Pro SE, and right beside it we have the GoPro Hero 7. The actual GoPro is just a slight bit bigger than the Akaso, and that's not huge compared to the quality difference between the Akaso and the GoPro. One of the biggest perks for me that I find with the GoPro, and the reason that I actually bought the GoPro, was the fact that it was waterproof without having to put an external case on it. That was a huge thing, especially for me that rides a motorcycle and could get caught in the rain, or there's just certain events that you want, and sometimes there's just events that you want to film and there's a possibility of getting wet. For example, maybe you go somewhere with a waterfall, or maybe you're going to go do outdoor activities that there's just water around, and putting it in a case isn't a huge issue, but one of the issues that kind of goes along with it is that you block the microphone, which means that your sound is kind of done. So if you have to put a case on either one of these, then your sound is pretty much null and void. Just don't even worry about it. It's there, but kind of not. That can be a big issue for a lot of us and warrant the price of just jumping to a GoPro. And for me, that's exactly why I bought the GoPro, and that's exactly why I ended up buying a GoPro. But what about accessories? Maybe this is the one camera that you're going to buy because you just want an action camera and you don't want to spend a lot of money on it. But if you buy a GoPro, it's kind of the start of the investment, because it really doesn't come with much for accessories. It really comes with the camera, you get the little enclosure, and that's kind of it. You get a battery. There you go, off out into the wild you go. Have fun with your new GoPro. If you buy an Akaso V50 Pro Special Edition, or pretty much any of the Akasos, you get a crazy assortment of accessories that come with it. You get, a lot of times, 2 batteries. You get an external charger. You get about 3 bajillion different mounts and J-hooks and hooks and GoPro style adapters, which is what all the action cameras use now. But you literally get like a small box of adapters, and usually there's like 10 to 20 different adapters for mounting it to a motorcycle or a bike, or mounting it to your helmet, or putting it on your sleeve, or you want to latch it onto your belt, or you want to, doesn't really matter. It just comes with a bunch to say go. That can be a real big perk for those of us that don't want to start the investment with a GoPro and realize that we'll have to spend even more money possibly to get all the adapters. I just want to purchase one thing. As long as it's good enough, I don't want to have to buy anything else. Well, then in that case, the Akaso really, that's a big perk, big thumbs up. But having all these accessories and having a cheaper price point doesn't really matter if the quality of the image isn't great. So if the quality of the image isn't good, The stabilizer isn't good because they both run on an electronic image stabilizer, and if the sound is not great. And again, the sound is that's an iffy one, because some people, they get a GoPro style camera, action camera, and the sound's not even a concern. It's just for being able to capture the moment, and then sound for you guys not an issue. If it is, then which one sounds better, or are they close? Are they comparable? So what I'm going to do right now is put a memory card inside both of these. We're going to put it on a little mount, like a GorillaPod style mount, and we're going to actually head outside and just do some quick recording with both of them side by side to see what they're like. We're going to have some bright light, hopefully some low light, and some audio testing. Let's go do that right now, shall we? Okay, so we're in the hallway testing out both cameras. And for one, this is going to give you an idea, I think, of audio quality as well as what it's like in low light as we slowly attempt to go outside. Now, both of these are shooting in 4K with their stabilizers turned on, so hopefully that gives you a bit of an idea. And I'm gonna come this way and get my shoes, and we're actually just gonna go check the mail, because I have to check the mail, see if there's anything there. So we're just gonna head on that way, and we'll do a couple tests. I'll actually shoot with the camera facing me, and then we'll shoot with the cameras facing the other way, again, so that we can get an idea of what this is like. I think these are my mail keys. Yeah, I constantly keep the camera going crooked, so that's me, not the cameras. All right, ready? Outside we go. All right, now we're in a bit more normal light. It's starting to snow again. I think it's springtime, or it's almost spring. It's getting close to spring. It's 0 out right now, degrees Celsius. And you guys can also hear the difference in the audio from the Akaso. I'll put the Akaso on right now. So this is the Akaso's mic, just the internal, with no modifications, no microphones, externals, no nothing. It's just raw. And now we'll switch to the GoPro. So this is the GoPro's audio. And again, you should be able to hear if there's any difference between the two. You gotta remember, the GoPro's like 3 times the price of the Akaso. So you're really trying to figure out for you if it's worth that price difference. So we're gonna walk this way. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm just walking, holding this on like a little selfie stick, just so you guys can see the quality and how it does. Now, I do like the fact with the GoPro, for one reason, it has a little screen on the front, so you can't tell that it's actually recording and how long you've recorded for, where the Akaso doesn't. It would be nice to see that in a future update. As well as the Akaso does have a little red light that flashes. Now, that's a plus and a minus at the same time, because if you want to be inconspicuous, then you might not want the light. But the light also is helpful because it verifies that you're actually recording something, so, you know, that can be a benefit, I guess. All right, we're going to check the mail. And nothing but garbage. Garbage, just garbage. All right, so we're gonna spin the camera around and we're gonna shoot the other way, just so you guys can see what it's like for stability going the other way, and to hear what the mic sounds like, me talking on the backside. All right, so here we go. I'm just holding the cameras again with the little selfie stick, and it's at arm's reach, and you guys should be able to get an idea. I'll just kind of hold them steady for a second here. This is just hand holding being steady, so you can see if they both keep the image steady or if one is shakier than the other, because I'm not perfectly steady, but you should be able to get an idea. And there is some snow in the air, so it'd be nice to see if you can actually see that as well. Right, and that'll give it a nice little just pan to the side. You guys can see that. And then we'll continue our little walk, because again, that's pretty important. I'll actually stand in the center of the road here. You may be able to get an idea of if one is shooting any wider than the other. So perfectly in the center of the road here. And we'll go to the GoPro. You guys can see what the GoPro looks like. And then we'll switch to the Akaso. And there's the Akaso V50 Pro Special Edition. And we will continue on our walk, which is kind of cool. And again, you guys will be able to see how that stabilizer is working, just to see if it's actually being able to smooth out my walking at all. You guys can figure that out, and again, see if it's something that you think is worth the triple of the price, you know. And I'm going to spin the camera back around. All right, here we go, back to this view. So I don't know, I'm going to go in and, you know, a lot of useful information for sure on the GoPro. Is it worth the triple of the price? That I leave to you. But we do see a lot of people with the Akasos, and the Akaso for me, definitely one of the best, or one of my favorite, I want to say budget action cameras, without question. All right, I'm gonna go in, take a look at the footage, and we'll continue our chat. See what we think. All right. Okay, my friends, so a couple things. We're back now. Right off the bat, the first thing when we start the footage, I've had a chance to go look at it, is that low light. The Akaso definitely suffers. It definitely suffers in the low light, and you can see that when the GoPro and the Akaso are side by side with each other, that Akaso is hurting. In some aspects, the light was dark enough so you could see nothing, like absolutely nothing. When I was walking down the hallway out here, it was black, versus the GoPro, which could actually see stuff. It was actually somewhat usable. But when they went outside, the Akaso came up and the quality actually was very close. I will have to say that the image stabilizer on the GoPro is quite amazing. It's actually really good. Even when you're walking, it smooths it out. Now the Akaso smooths it out too, but not to the level that the GoPro does. Even when we were stationary and we were just holding those two cameras upwards, trying to be as steady as possible, the GoPro pretty much was locked in place, and the Akaso was good, but you could see a little bit of shake inside it, just a tiny bit, but definitely a little bit of shake. And from going from a stop to a little bit of a pan with motion, the Akaso was a little bit more jerky, and the GoPro really smoothed it out. So there definitely was a perk there. So both cameras were set to just automatic for color. And I actually think I kind of like the Akaso's color because it's a bit more faded. And because it's a bit more faded, not as crunchy, I guess, and not as saturated, that's something that you can add later. You can add saturation and you can add a bit of contrast to the image. And I kind of like the image that came out of the Akaso. Both of them were good. Surprisingly, I was impressed with both of them. But the GoPro does have the ability to go into something called a Pro Tune, so you can go in and flatten that image, and actually, if you feel like really going in and playing with the settings, you and I have that ability with the GoPro 7 to play with that level of contrast and sharpness and things like that. If you feel comfortable with it, the GoPro would win. Out of the box, I'd say they're really close if you're shooting in just automatic modes. Last one would be the sound. The sound out of the GoPro destroys, without question, destroys the Akaso. I think the Akaso was okay, and when the Akaso is closer, it actually does a lot better. But as it pulls away, it has problems a bit. Not crazy problems. Is it usable? Yeah, but nothing near the quality of the GoPro. The GoPro definitely has that wrapped up. It sounds actually really good. At the end of this little part of the video, actually maybe not even at the end, I'll put it in right now. I took the Akaso out to test it again because I wasn't necessarily sure if the case that I had on the Akaso was partially blocking the Akaso's mic. So I'm going to let you guys listen to that now so you can hear what it sounds like as I go out for another walk just earlier today. So here you go. Check the snow out. Just check the snow out. Hold on. Crazy, right? So I wanted to do just another little quick test with the Akaso because the case I had on it before to hold it, that's crazy snow. Look at that. Check that out, right? The case that I had on before, I think, was blocking the microphone because it was really quiet. And I was like, I don't know why it's that quiet. Normally it's not. So I wanted to test it with a different case on there. So this is kind of like a naked case. Oh, snow. We're in a severe snowstorm warning is what they're saying. Check it out. Right? Look at that. But you guys will get an idea now of what it sounds like. Just, I I've never seen snowflakes this big. It's crazy. I'm gonna bring my phone out because that's worth taking a picture. Ready? Take a picture. Yeah. Super cool. Right? Super cool. Alright, but you guys get an idea of what the microphone sounds like now, so I think it'll probably sound better just for the fact that, like I said, I think the old case was covering one of the actual microphone ports, so hopefully this one isn't, so you guys get a better idea of audio. Alright, I'm gonna leave you there. Make your decision. Save the money, get the Akaso. Spend more money, get the GoPro. Up to you. Like, look at me. Look at the snow. How crazy is that? I was up like for 2 seconds. Alright, I'm going inside, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later. So I think maybe it was a bit better, but still not to the level of the GoPro, not by any means. Definitely better. And one of the things to realize too is that if you just look at the Akaso image quality and the sound and you had never seen the GoPro, probably 90% of us would be like, yeah, that looks fantastic. That's more than what I need. I think that's awesome. And that's kind of what you have to judge yourself on. There's always going to be something bigger and better out there just to be aware of. And if you can afford it, you know, everybody's upgrading every 3 days because the one that they just bought isn't as good as the one that just came out. If you're happy with that quality, then it's good. Just stay with that. But if you do have a bit bigger budget, so you have that ability to spend a little bit more, and I say a little bit more, but really it's 2 to 3 times more. And if you actually go to the GoPro Hero 8 Black, you may be looking at 3 to 4 times the price. That's a huge difference in price. You really have to think about, is it worth it? What are you using it for? Is that going to be something that is noticeable in your videos? Are you going to be putting it up to YouTube, and YouTube has its own compression anyway? Can you do a little bit of audio manipulation to get the Akaso to sound a bit louder? Yeah, sure, why not? Can you bring up the saturation and some sharpness to the Akaso? Yep, most definitely. If you want to do that, you can. Bring it up a little bit, get it even closer to the GoPro. If stabilization is an issue, can you run software stabilization? Sure. Will that help? Yeah, my guess would be yes. There's a lot of things, if you don't mind putting in the extra time and effort into it, that can get it closer, I guess, to the GoPro. But that's it. I'm gonna leave you guys there because that decision really is yours. I have the GoPro Hero 7 and I love it. I bought it, and for a lot of the stuff that I'll be shooting from this point forward, that's the camera that I'm probably going to use. Is the Akaso a bad camera? No, not at all. The Akaso, for its price point, still in that $100 to $150 mark, still probably one of my favorite cameras that's out there, bar none. I think it's fantastic. And I didn't really mention this, it has the ability, if you buy the Akaso lapel mic, to have an external, but it needs the Akaso one. I've tried it with all other brands and I don't know if their wiring is weird or whatever, but it doesn't like anybody else's except its own. So you can buy the Akaso mic. Now you got an external mic, so that's definitely helpful as well. Can the GoPro get one? Yeah, but guess what? You need to buy an external mic, that's number one, and you have to buy the GoPro mic adapter, which is like Canadian, like $75. So now we're increasing even more. So now we've invested probably about $100, $120 to get the adapter and a microphone for the GoPro versus, you know, probably, I don't know, $30 or $40 to get the Akaso mic. So again, we're looking at the accessories really being a lot pricier for the GoPro versus the Akaso's accessories, which it comes with, a lot of them. If you want to get into the mic stuff, again, it's just a little cheaper. Is it as good? I don't think so, but it gets you 80% of the way for less than 50% of the price. I'm done talking. You guys can figure it out. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, leave them down below. We're gonna have some more of these little versus videos coming out where we put some cameras up against each other. Should be fun. All right, my friends, I'm gonna leave you there. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'm going to put a link to both of these cameras down below if you're interested in picking one up. And if you do through Amazon, it supports the site, and that's very helpful. We will see you guys in the next video. Later, my friends.